Out of Myerson. How's that? So what are we going to talk about? We're rolling.
Are we rolling?
Yeah, we're rolling.
I don't know. What do you want to talk about? My 30 seconds of bike racing yesterday?
You were nowhere to be seen. I did see a photograph of you walking away from the
video. Yeah.
The start straight. So what happened there?
I mean, I had a good start, and it's just the start of Gloucester is always a little bit swervy because we kind of make a curve, but we had cleared the part. We were on the part of the road that went straight, and I thought we were all sort of done chopping each other, and there was just a little bit of extra swerving, and someone moved over on me abruptly, and I wasn't really expecting it, and I couldn't get out of the way fast enough, and so I lost some spokes from my front wheel to the point where my bike was inoperable, and it is much too far to be run into the pit from there. I mean, I hadn't even crossed the start line.
It seems like a long course.
It is a long course. I mean, I think we were doing 7.5-minute laps, you know, which is, you know, a lot of times we're doing 6-minute laps.
You're not going to run the entire course.
Absolutely not. My race was over.
For half the course.
I just had to accept it, yeah. And I think the pit isn't perfectly in the middle, and I was very, very far. I mean, I would have run a mile. I wasn't about to run a mile. Like, I just had to accept that my race was over. So it's emotionally challenging because you're sprinting. You've done all this prep, and you're amped, and you're like sprinting as hard. You have this great start, and then you're done, and you just walk off. And so I got over it pretty quickly. I was, you know, worked up maybe for the rest of the night, but when I woke up this morning, I was like, it just was my turn. And you know, bike racing isn't interesting without failures like that. And so in a way I was sort of grateful for that reminder, you know, like that winning and losing are equally important. Like, there has to be some tragedy out there for there to be a story worth paying attention to. It's just a bummer that it was my turn, but whatever, it was fine. It was just bike racing. And so I was amped for today. I was like, you know, I'll be fresh, everybody will be tired from yesterday, and I felt terrible today. Like, my back hurt, it was hot, I was overheating, I made the front group and then got popped from it, and had to finally like let a group go, and I got 22nd in the end or something like that, which wasn't terrible, but during the race I felt like almost embarrassed because I couldn't stay with the group. I was expecting a little more from myself, and I felt like I'd put that out there a little bit, and I really just felt terrible today. I actually quit at one point. When I sat up out of the group, I was like, I'm just gonna quit at the pit, but then I realized, oh, there's still so many people behind me, like, I don't want to disrespect the race, and I just collected myself and recovered, and when the next group caught me, I started racing again. And so 22nd is a fine result. I just need some racing in my legs now. I just need to get myself going.
Right, how do you feel about the courses this year? It seemed like there were you, I mean, for most people, it was 5 dismounts yesterday. And then how many today? 3? Was it 3 or more?
Run up in the, 3, I think 3.
Because yesterday, if you rode the little steps just before the finish,
right,
then it was 4, but it was 5 for a lot of people. How do you go up 5 wooden feature dismounts?
I mean,
there was stone stairs.
You know, it's Tom Stevens' course. Tom Stevens still, you know, is from the days where we had a dismount a minute. Getting on and off your bike was a crucial part of cyclocross, and modern cyclocross isn't really like that anymore. It's more about riding and how fast you can ride across bumpy ground and make corners, things like that. Getting on and off your bike isn't as important as it once was. So it's a little bit of a throwback to that time, and I'm good at getting on and off my bike, so it's definitely a benefit for me. But it is a little bit of a mental switch to get sort of your head around all that dismounting. I think really what's more important is that both days the course has had such better flow than we've ever had at Gloucester. I gave Paul a lot of feedback on the course after last year's races, and collected feedback from other people, and I think that was the common complaint, that if you blew a turn, you were gonna hit like a tree, or, you know, it might have flowed for the lower categories at a lower speed, but for the elites it was too tight, turns were too tight. You couldn't use your skill, they were just speed limits, and just rocks and things like that. So I think they fixed all that wonderfully. You could pedal a lot, you could rip turns. If you crashed, it was your own fault. It was because you went too fast, you know? And so I think these are the best versions of Gloucester course that we've ever had.
I saw a lot of the guys today covered in dirt. I don't know where they were crashing. I know that Anthony went down on the barriers, so I knew that. But I saw Spencer was covered in dirt. Like, where were they going down in the woods section?
Yeah,
Anywhere
you fell, you were gonna get tarred and feathered, because it was in the mid-70s. We were all covered in sweat, and then if you fell, it was like a bird taking a dirt bath. You were just like covering yourself in like silty, because the ground is so hard underneath it that the top layer was getting chewed up, but it still was. I mean, I still raced file treads both days. Well, even though I only got 30 seconds in yesterday, but there's nothing to grab out there, you know. It's still a file tread type course, so it's just everything was covered in dust. So it didn't take much to tar and feather yourself, basically.
We're gonna see you at Cross-Toe Beer Fest this Wednesday.
Yeah, hopefully I'll recover from this and feel better on Wednesday and get back to racing up at the front. Get sorted out whatever problems I had this weekend. But I'm looking forward to that, and I think I'm gonna keep it local next weekend. But that Cross-Toe Beer Fest is it's a good third. You know, we have three Wednesday races in New England, and that's the third, and it's a great race. So I hope people come out for that. I'll definitely be there.
All right, see you.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.